Do you plan to drink while you are abroad? It's entirely up to you. As you make your choice, we want you to keep some things in mind. By the end of this video, you should have learned or reinforced your knowledge about how to make wise decisions regarding alcohol and drugs, and know how to socialize safely. As you make decisions about alcohol while abroad, please keep these points in mind. Before you go, look into the laws of your host country regarding alcohol and other drug use. Laws vary from country to country and can often be more severe than in the US. The alcohol content in drinks can be higher in some countries depending on how it was made. For example, one beer from a brand you are used to drinking in the US may have a less potent effect on you than the same brand of beer made in your host country. Remember that you are a Terp while abroad, just as you are when on campus in College Park, so represent yourself and UMD well. Have you heard about UMD's Gold Code? It's a harm reduction campaign to educate the campus community on reducing the risks associated with drinking alcohol. We want to make sure that if you do choose to drink, you are able to do so in ways that reduce the risk of harmful consequences for you and for your peers. We also recognize that 1 in 4 Terps choose not to drink alcohol at all during their time at UMD, and the Gold Code celebrates that choice too. The Gold Code offers 4 things to remember. Pre-game with protein. Before you start drinking, make sure to enjoy a meal high in protein, i.e. cheeses, meats, beans, peanuts, etc. Having protein-rich food in your system before you start drinking will help to slow the absorption of alcohol, which helps control your blood alcohol levels. Pace, don't race. If you decide to drink, there are many ways to pace yourself and make sure you have fun all night long. Make sure to be aware of the amount of alcohol you put in the drink, keeping in mind that 1 cup does not always equal 1 standard drink. Standard drink sizes are as follows: 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, 1.5 ounces of liquor. It's helpful to be aware that some mixed drinks may have multiple shots worth of alcohol, and beer and wine may not be served in standard sizes, so that you can pace your drinking appropriately. It takes approximately 1 hour for the average person to fully process 1 standard drink, though factors like age, body composition, diet, sleep, and tolerance can make this vary slightly from person to person. Avoid taking drinks from someone you don't know, or from communal bowls, as you may not be able to accurately measure the amount of alcohol in the drink, or what else has been added to the drink. Have a system for keeping track of the number of drinks you consume to ensure you both enjoy the night and wake up the next morning feeling good. Leave no Terp or any friend behind. We are living through challenging times that impact the ways in which we socialize with our friends. While many students may not be going to large parties this semester, it is still important to leave no Terp behind. At UMD, we believe in supporting one another, whether that is making sure a friend returns home safely after visiting a bar, calling for emergency assistance if you see someone is showing signs of alcohol poisoning, or sharing concerns you have about a friend's substance use. It is critical that every Terp knows that their community has their back. If you do choose to drink, make sure you have a night to remember, not a night to forget. Knowing the signs of alcohol poisoning is important to make sure you and your friends are safe. Alcohol poisoning occurs when a large amount of alcohol is consumed, typically over a short period of time. Practice harm reduction by avoiding activities that encourage consuming large amounts of alcohol, such as chugging and drinking games, and alternating alcoholic beverages with non-alcoholic beverages like water. To know the signs of alcohol poisoning, remember cups. C, cold or clammy skin. U, unconscious/unresponsive to stimuli like voices or nudging. P, puking, especially when passed out. And S, slow or shallow breathing. Sober is safest. At the end of the day, the only way to eliminate risks associated with drinking alcohol is to simply choose not to drink alcohol in the first place. Whether you make the choice for yourself for 1 night, 1 semester, or your entire college career, know that you are in good company. As mentioned, 1 in 4 Terps choose not to drink at all during their time as UMD students. You can socialize safely when abroad. Being out and about, meeting people, and having fun is great and an important part of your study abroad experience. To do that successfully, take a moment to identify and think about the risks you might encounter and what you can do to reduce your likelihood of being harmed. Most students have an inherent wish to be culturally aware and sensitive to the different world views and perspectives they will encounter abroad. Perhaps this is a major part of the reason you chose to study abroad, and much of how you do this learning will take place outside of the classroom. Even as you are learning cultural nuances, remember that you are never required to submit to or participate in behaviors that make you uncomfortable or unsafe. Never sacrifice your safety for the sake of cultural sensitivity. Nancy Newport, a licensed professional counselor and consultant for the U.S. Peace Corps, says, "Personal boundaries are the personal space around us, physically and emotionally, that serves to preserve our physical and emotional integrity. When someone gets too close, an alarm sounds inside. We need to listen for, respect, and respond to that alarm. We also need to respect the personal boundaries of each other." She goes on to say that your body is your ultimate boundary. You are the only one who should determine the limits and fluidity of your mental and physical boundaries. Intentionally observe what role personal boundaries and space play in the interpersonal interactions between genders, generations, professionals, students, etc. Doing this proactively and using what you've learned to be safe should be a personal priority. Your program staff are a really important resource here. They can help you recognize the assumptions you might make about people and interactions and how they may be interpreted differently in your new environment. You can read more of Nancy's work on the Safety Abroad First educational travel information website, linked on our Health and Safety Resources page. Remember, the attitudes towards sex, relationships, and friendships may differ from your own. In some places, sex may be openly discussed. In others, it may be taboo. At UMD, students learn that consent in sexual relationships should be clear and enthusiastic. Other cultures may see consent as implied when you engage in certain activities, like going to someone's house or apartment at night, for example. The more you are aware of these differences, the more informed and proactive you can be in managing your safety. If you intend to use dating apps or any other means of meeting people while abroad, the same advice applies. RAINN, a national anti-sexual violence organization, gives some great safety tips for using dating apps. Wait to share personal information. Video chat with someone before meeting them in person. Tell a friend where you're going. Screenshot your date's profile and share it with a friend. Don't rely on your date for transportation. These and other tips can be found on RAINN's website. Again, if you feel uncomfortable or unsafe in a situation, conversation, or any other interaction, do not ignore these feelings for the sake of being culturally sensitive. Do what you need to do to leave the situation as quickly as possible. Here are some actions you can take to decrease your exposure to unsafe people and situations. Always follow local laws and respect law enforcement officials. Be COVID-19 safe. Whether or not you are fully vaccinated or have an exemption from this requirement, you should wear a properly fitting mask, wash your hands often, and sanitize surfaces. Stay at least 6 feet from others and stay home if you're sick. Do not drink so much alcohol that your judgment is impaired or your health is endangered. Don't drink anything that you did not see poured, and always watch your drink. Trust your sober instincts. Do not be too quick to trust people you've just met or do not know well. If you feel unsafe about a place, person, or situation, it is better to err on the side of caution and remove yourself as quickly as possible. Do not go out alone, especially in isolated areas and especially at night. Always socialize within a group of trusted people. Let people earn your trust before you depend on them. Be wary of people who push too hard to become your friend. Do your best to dress and act like locals do. Try not to stand out as a tourist. Be aware that in many cultures, the most appropriate locations for casual socializing are in public places, cafes, parks, etc., and not your personal space, apartment, dorm room, etc. Build a social network of people you trust. The more people you get to know and trust, the more people you will have who will look out for your safety. Project confidence when you're out and about. Confidence, not arrogance. If you're lost or need to consult your phone or a map for directions, do so discreetly. Go into a store or restaurant. Do not be quick to share personal details, your address, your itinerary, where you're from, your phone number, etc., with people you've just met. Invest your money in your own safety. This means that if it costs a bit more to take a registered cab, Uber, Lyft, or other reputable rideshare company than to walk home through an unknown or unsafe part of town, spend the money on the safest option. Plan ahead. Know where you're going, how you're getting there, how much you plan to spend, and how you will get home. Have a backup plan in case something bad happens. Your purse is stolen, you run out of money, etc. Put 24/7 emergency contact information in your phone and keep your phone charged. If you meet someone who makes you uncomfortable or worse, threatens you, get away from them if and when it's safest to do so, and then tell someone, law enforcement, your program staff, EA staff, a friend, your family, etc., as soon as possible. This list is not exhaustive, but we hope it helps you remember to put your safety first. You can always call the following 24/7 emergency contact numbers if you need help, which are also linked on our resource page. Your Alert Traveler app. You can send a text asking for help through the Alert Traveler app. See your MyEA account for details on how to download the app. CISI/AXA Assistance 01-312-935-1703. Collect calls accepted. This is your emergency medical and travel assistance provider. Contact them to find doctors and make appointments, arrange for medical bills to be paid directly to the provider, etc. GLMN 04-965-887 is your policy number. University of Maryland Police Department 1301-405-3333. UMPD will contact Education Abroad staff until they reach someone on your behalf. UMD's Care to Stop Violence 1-301-741-3444. CARE is a confidential resource that offers support to survivors of sexual/dating violence. Now that you've watched this video, you should have learned or reinforced your knowledge about how to make wise decisions regarding alcohol and drugs, and know how to socialize safely.